Former FBI Director James Comey is praising special counsel Robert Mueller, calling him both principled and fair in his handling of the Russia report. Comey's memoir, A Higher Loyalty, Truth, Lies, and Leadership, has just come out in paperback, and he says that he hopes the new edition is more accessible to young people and that inspires them to follow a path of ethical leadership. The release comes ahead of an explosive report revealing new details on President Trump's tax returns. The New York Times finds that the president lost more than $1 billion in business dealings from 1985 to 1994. In part two of the three-part conversation, my colleagues Vladimir Duthiers and Anne-Marie Green spoke with Comey about whether the president's taxes would be of interest to the special counsel.
I don't know. Maybe not because of the way he understood his mandate.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
This is something that a lot of folks have missed. There were two aspects to what we were doing when I was still in the FBI. One was a criminal investigation, the other was a counterintelligence investigation. A big part of the counterintelligence investigation was trying to understand, are there links between this president and Russia, separate and apart from the election, that might indicate that they are holding sway over him or an ability to coerce him in some fashion. Mueller seems to, from the report, to have taken that piece and kept it at the FBI and said, my role as special counsel is just a criminal investigation, and if I get any leads on this question about whether the Russians have anything on Donald Trump, I'm going to push it back to the FBI.
That's really interesting.
So we've got no transparency, nor would I expect it because it would be classified, on where that counterintelligence investigation. And I'm not suggesting that I know the answer, but Mueller did not answer the question, do the Russians have something on Donald Trump? Because he decided it wasn't within my responsibility.
And that's where the taxes would come into play, because if there was something in his financial wheelings and dealings that related to the Russians in some manner, that would be separate from what Robert Mueller was investigating, which is the election of 2016.
Correct. That's the way I think about it. Mueller understood his mandate to be much more narrow than this broader, is there a connection, influence, coercion thing.
Fascinating.
So I want to jump back to the whole spying accusation because we have a little bit of sound from Director Wray right now. The president says that, you know, if there were spying, and he believes there was spying, that you were probably behind it, or the impetus to spying on his campaign. And the current FBI director was asked about that, and this is how he responded.
At this time, do you have any evidence that any illegal surveillance into the campaigns or individuals associated with the campaigns by the FBI occurred?
I don't think I personally have any evidence of that sort.
Let's just clarify it. Did the FBI spy on the Trump campaign?
No. The FBI investigated to try and understand, are there people associated with the Trump campaign who are in bed with the Russian effort to attack our democracy? We should have been fired if we didn't investigate that, given the smoke we saw at the end of July of 2016. But we investigate, and the Attorney General knows that. We don't spy on people. If we want to surveil people electronically, we go to a federal judge and make a showing of probable cause and get a warrant. That's the FBI's business.
Did President Obama or any of his attorney generals direct you to spy on the Trump campaign?
No, never.
Never asked you? Never said, hey, take a look at this? Ever?
Never.
I want to ask you another question about something that popped up in the Mueller investigation. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, right? She admitted during her interview that she called it a slip of the tongue when she said that many people from the FBI had called to complain about you, to say that, you know, they were so sort of relieved that you were no longer the head of the FBI. And then later on, when she was questioned by the media, she said it was a slip of the tongue. What did you think as you watched this unfold, when you read it in the Mueller report, and then you saw her response later?
It speaks for itself, frankly. Slip of the tongue, right? It's a slip of the tongue. A detailed explanation of why she knows that I was hated at the FBI. I knew that was a lie when it was said, clearly a lie. There's plenty of ways to document it. I was gratified to see the special counsel lay out there that she admitted that it was a lie. Now she's back to her business, and if you can't figure out what she's about, then I can't help you.